Nick Pappas QC has temporarily taken over as the Northern Territory's Director of Public Prosecutions, the Victorian barrister stepping in July this year to run an overworked and understaffed office.
We'd lost the Director, the Deputy Director, a number of senior Crown prosecutors, and in a space of about, 6 to 12 months, maybe a bit longer, a really large number of senior experienced people had left the office. And so whilst I won't call it a crisis, it was not a crisis. It certainly was difficult.
What sort of pressures has the DPP been under this year?
Look, all agencies in the Northern Territory sometimes struggle, and with COVID, I think it's made it much worse. And so we are struggling to keep staff and to attract staff, and it's been a very tough year.
Why do you think it is that you're struggling to retain and attain staff?
Look, I think across the board we've struggled. It's often difficult to attract people to each of those locations, Catherine and Alice Springs. The reality is that with COVID, with border closures, a lot of young professionals who might otherwise come up here, and that's sort of the future of the Territory in terms of people coming up, as well as the local lawyers, of course, find it difficult because if they want to go and visit family interstate, the risk has been, hasn't it, that you go interstate and you can't come back, or you get stuck in quarantine.
But what sort of an impact does that have not only on the workload on the staff that are still here, but also people involved in cases? You've got victims who are waiting for outcomes, and you've got people who are sitting on charges, potentially sitting on remand for months and months without knowing what's going on.
The real impact is on the system. And there's a saying that justice delayed is justice denied, and that's because people are waiting. And so accused persons remain in custody, our jails are full. Families of those people are waiting. The victims and the victims' families are waiting, and the longer it takes, the greater the stress is and the worse the outcome is in the general sense.
Over a 6-month period this year, the Northern Territory local courts dealt with almost 5,500 matters. Each of those needs a prosecutor. Around 3,000 of them were dealt with in less than 3 months, but more than 200 took more than 18 months to be finalised or committed to the Supreme Court. But last year, during the peak of COVID, that number was almost 500. A significant proportion of those, the DPP says, would have been domestic violence offences.
There's so many policies and programs and efforts being made to change the scourge, this appalling flow of domestic violence. Is it making a difference? Look, I haven't been here long enough to be able to make a comment about before and after. I can say that I'm very, very troubled by what I see.
But the acting director is confident things will improve for the office and the system in the new year, with new experienced prosecutors coming on board and a permanent director of public prosecutions expected to be announced in coming weeks. Melissa McKay, ABC News.